What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So a couple of days ago, we talked about the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and there were a lot of people in the comments that let me know, look, the CPI score might say 7.1%, but we're still paying a lot when we go to the grocery store. And a lot of what you're saying is true. And so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break it down. I'm going to show you month to month what the Consumer Price Index was, and then we're going to get into the cost of food and everything. And then I'm also going to show you an illustration, and we're going to kind of walk through why things might be more expensive at one grocery store compared to another one. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime I put out a video. We do daily videos, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Okay, so first off, I do want to remind you guys, and I know I remind you guys this all the time when it comes to that bell notification and subscribing to the channel. That's the best way to show support. Subscribe to the channel, and when you do hit that bell notification, you should be getting those notifications. If you're not getting the notifications, what some people are telling me they're still not getting the notifications, let me know. And I've been trying to relay this information to YouTube as much as possible, just to let them know, look, I still have people that are having problems getting notified. Also, if you're getting notified on your phone, you do have to open up the notifications on your phone for that app. So if it's YouTube, you do need to open up the notifications in some situations, or you're not going to get notified on your phone. So just let me know if you guys are still having issues, because this is one of those things that's very frustrating to me. I sit down, I do the research, put these videos out, and I want you guys to get the notifications so you can see the videos. And if you're not getting those notifications, that's a big problem. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to move over to the desktop here so we can take a look at this. And we're going to go over the Consumer Price Index, and we're basically going to, I'm showing you here the last 3 months, okay? So this would be November here, and this would be October, and this is September, okay? So put S there and put an O here. Just, I tried to put these together, and it didn't come out, it didn't format the way that I wanted it to. So hopefully that helps a lot. But the main focus is, we're going to be focusing on this right here, this area here. Okay, so the others, we're just going to kind of revert back to them so you see what the CPI score and what the percentage increase when it comes down to from last year. Okay, so that's what we need to understand. This 7.1% CPI, this is compared to last year at the same time. And then when we start looking at food at home, we start looking at some of these different categories. It's compared to last year this time. Okay, and when I say this time, I'm actually talking about November, because that's the information that we have. We haven't received information for December yet. We won't receive that until January. And so we're talking about November. So November last year, this is the increase compared to that. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. All right, so let's take a look at some of this. So we know 7.1%, that was the CPI score. And then when we start moving down here, we look at food overall, it's 10.6%. Now that is down from October and September. So in October it was 10.9%, and in September it was 11.2%. Okay, so just looking at that, you see there is, from October to November, there is a slight decrease overall. However, when you're looking at certain foods, some foods are higher up. The percentage is more than others. And there are a variety of different reasons for that, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on in this video. Okay, so cereal, or actually we do food at home first. So food at home was 12%. And in October, it was 12.4%. And then in September, it was 13%. So you see it is going down slightly. Cereals, bakery products, you see here, 16.4%. That's up. It was 15.9% in October and 16.2% in September. So this category right here is higher. Now, when it comes to grains, I think we do have a shortage right now. I think a lot of the grains that we were getting from other countries we're not getting right now. So that could be part of the problem when it comes to cereals and bakery products. But when it comes down to it, looking at some of the other ones here, 6.8% for meat, poultry, fish, and eggs, and that is down from 8% in October and then 9% in September. So we see that's dropping a little bit. And then we look at dairy products, 16.4%, and that is up. Okay, so 16.4% up from 15.5% in October and then 15.9% in September. So you see there are some categories. I'm not going to go through every category here. Non-alcoholic beverages, we can look at that one, 13.2%. That is up from the 12.7% in October and the 12.9% in September. So just looking, and I'm briefly just going over some of these, but you see some of them have gone up. Energy is down, which is good. Okay, and we know gas prices are starting to drop, so that's good. So 13.1% in November, but in October it was 17.6%, and in September it was 19.8%. Okay, so here's gasoline of all types, 10% or 10.1%. In October it was 17.5%. And in September it was 18.2%. So we are seeing some drops, okay, and that's good. That's good that we're seeing some drops, but it's not enough. It isn't, and there are certain categories that are still up there when it comes to the cost. The cost is still really high. When you go to a grocery store, of course, you are paying more. Now let me show you this, and I just picked a category. I wanted to pick eggs, and so I picked that category. So we're talking about per dozen here, and this is the overall over the years. Okay, so if you look all the way, let's say November of 2012, a dozen eggs was $1.96. Okay, so now looking, if we fast forward to 2022, a dozen eggs is $3.58 or $3.59. So that's what we're looking at right now when it comes to a dozen eggs. Now, the question is, if that's the average, then why are people paying more than that? Well, that's because it's the average. And when you're looking at averages, you're not looking at the highest price, or you're taking the highest price and the lowest price, and you're averaging those. And so when we're looking at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they're giving us this information, $3.58. Okay. Now let's just look at this illustration here, because hopefully this will make sense to you. When it comes to how much stores are paying for a dozen eggs, we don't know that. We don't know that information, and stores will obviously pay different prices to get the eggs transported to them. Okay, so we go to the grocery store to pick up those eggs, and let's say the average is $3.58. Once it goes to the grocery store has, they charge whatever they want, really. That's capitalism. They can charge whatever they want, whatever a person's willing to pay for them. So let's just say, for sake of argument, it's $4.99. Last time I went and bought eggs at the grocery store, the regular grocery store, it was $4.99. That's just at my grocery store. Now, when I go to Costco, it's a whole different situation. It's a lot less, and you get more. But it was interesting. I just went to Costco a couple of days ago, and they were running low on eggs. And I usually get eggs, and I also get the egg whites. They didn't have any egg whites, and you can only get 2 of the 24. I think 24 eggs in that little carton that they have. You guys know what I'm talking. If you've gone to Costco or Sam's Club, it's probably the same thing. You have that big carton of eggs. So that you can only get 2 of those. So you were limited. They weren't allowing people to get as many as they want. So I thought that was interesting. So obviously, Costco, at least there's a shortage on eggs when it comes to Costco where I live. All right. So $4.99, that's how much I pay if I go to a regular grocery store and not Costco. Now, there are a variety of different reasons why eggs can be more expensive or less expensive. Okay. So we'll just look at 2, and these are probably the most common. So when it comes to eggs, if there's a surplus, if the store has too many eggs, they have to put them on sale, because eggs have an expiration date. And so they have to sell them by a certain time period. If they have too many, they're going to try to get them off the shelves. And so they're going to have a sale. And so we might see, I might go to my grocery store a week from now, and the eggs have dropped down to $2.99. And that's just because they have a surplus. They have too many, and they need to get rid of them before they expire, because they won't be able to sell them anymore. So that's the first way that we can see a major drop in the price of eggs. Now, if there's a shortage, like I was just talking about Costco, they were limiting the amount that you can get. Costco didn't raise the price, but they did limit the amount that you can get. But let's say there's a shortage and the grocery store says, well, we only have a certain amount that we can get. So they could raise the price, okay? Because there's a shortage, they could raise the price and people will pay that price, because if you go to your grocery store and if you need eggs and you go to the grocery store and they don't have very many left, you're probably going to buy, even if it's $6.99, you're probably going to go ahead and buy it because you don't really have a choice. Let's say there are no other grocery stores nearby and it just makes sense. I'll just go ahead and pay the $6.99 instead of driving across town to find another grocery store and burn gas just to find another grocery store to buy eggs. So it's convenient if I can just buy it where I am. And so looking at this, if you have eggs at one store going for $6.99 and another store going for $2.99 and then at another store going for $4.99, well, that's how they're getting the average. That's how they're figuring out what this average is, this $3.58. So just because we're seeing $3.58 as an average, that doesn't mean when you go to your grocery store, that's how much you're paying. And I've had some people in the comments letting me know, look, I'm paying $7 for a dozen eggs, or I'm paying, this amount, $3 or $5. And so that's what we're looking at when it comes to the cost of things. And I just used eggs as an example, but you can look at a lot of other products and it's the same thing, especially if it has an expiration date, you're going to see those fluctuations. Even if it doesn't have an expiration date, we're seeing in the department stores, people are going to these department stores and they're getting really good deals. I mean, I've been doing a lot of work around the house since I've been back from Colombia. And so I've been buying some power tools and things like that. And you go to these big box stores and there's some really good deals right now because it's close to the holidays. You can buy 3 tools and get 1 free, or buy a group of power tools and get 2 free tools. So you can really save a lot of money, especially if you're in the market to buy some of these tools. And I think with these big box home improvement stores, they did really well during the pandemic because people were at home and they started renovating their house and stuff like that. But now it's starting to slow down. And so they're still sitting on a lot of product. And so they're trying to get rid of that product. And there's unbelievable deals. So if you need to buy power tools, you should get out to some of these big box stores and try to see if you can get a good deal. And I'm telling you, I've purchased pretty much every tool that I need just because the deals are so good that it's hard to beat. Like if I'm buying a battery and I'm getting a free tool with it, I might as well buy that battery and get the free tool as opposed to buying the tool. And a lot of these power tools, you can buy the tool only and you still need to get the battery. So it makes sense to buy the batteries. And sometimes you get like 2 batteries for, I'll just give an example, 2 batteries for $150, and then you get a free tool on top of that. But that tool alone costs $150. So anyway, hopefully this explains things to you when it comes to just what's going on when it comes to CPI scores. I will do more videos on the CPI score in the future as far as every month when we will get a CPI score, because we need to pay attention to this. I know this might seem like it doesn't benefit people on Social Security or people who are retired. And I did have people that let me know that in the comments as well. Like, what does this have to do with people on Social Security? It has a lot to do with people on Social Security because you're on a fixed income. And so every dollar counts. And if you know that prices are starting to come down when it comes to inflation, that's good news. And that's why I put that information out, just to let you know, look, things are starting to get better. And so my ultimate goal is to put that information out there so you guys know what's going on when it comes to the economy, so you can make better decisions when it comes to that. I also put information out about legislation because I think it's important to follow some of these bills that are going through Congress because they can help you as well. And so that's the whole goal here. If you guys like what I'm doing, please let me know down below. Please like the video as well. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.